Hey, hi, and hello. My name is Jerusalem Truth. I am an artist, business owner, tarot reader, woo lady, and hoodoo baby, and I would love to give you a very personal welcome to this here YouTube channel, Temperance Apothecary. This is the YouTube esoteric channel extension of our pre-existing business, Temperance Apothecary, where I do sell candles and body butters. New drops soon. Why'd I whisper? New drops soon, okay? We're switching it up. We are clearly in a new location today, but hey, guess what? We keep grinding. We keep going. And guess what? We already have our messages jumping out for this weekly collective reading. If you have any interest in readings that I do, such as general life overview, love and romance, career development, and creativity readings, I do those as well. All of that information is available down below. We've got the magician at the bottom for the week. I love it already. Let's get into it because this is going to be a shorter reading. So she said, knock on wood, but also it candidly has to be a shorter reading. As I mentioned, we are in a different location, but we keep showing up. So collective, if you are seeing this, this is the message meant for you, and I thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below if any of these messages resonate with you. We are going to keep it super simple. I am traveling and away from my usual recording setup, so we just have our Modern Witch Tarot deck, and the affirmations I feel will come through the messages we have, which already are phenomenal. Just a brief overview, the way I do my spreads, at least for the collective readings and most of the pickle piles as well, is in a little triangle where the first row or the first three cards are beginning, middle, and end. The second row is the transition from beginning to middle, middle to end as the story of the spread, and then the top is kind of the flavor is what I call it, but you could say the plot line for this particular spread. Maybe that's something that's resonating with someone this week. We are assessing and entering and jumping into new storylines and new plot lines. We are elevating within our storylines and plot lines as well. And what makes me say that is we had the Page of Swords jump out. The King of Wands was upright in the deck, so I pulled it out because he felt like they were calling my name. And then we had the Queen of Swords come out, and I just ended up flipping them over. And what is this? This is you starting. Today is Monday, but whenever you're watching this, it is meant for you. You are starting right now, or so you thought, as the Page of Swords. But this King of Wands energy, it's almost as if you're looking at yourself and you're like, I could do more. I can do more. And then you elevate. You have that final little push, right? That spark. Actually, the King of Wands is more than a spark. The King of Wands is a force fire. But you let that inner desire to move be what takes you from the next level. Or what? I also apologize. I am deliriously tired. And that's fine. But the messages are still going to go through. The vessel is still clear. Let's be clear. But what I mean is that the King of Swords is almost looking back at this Page of Swords like, hey man, I remember when I was there. I was just there yesterday. I remember it like it was yesterday as I wear this sweatshirt from my best friend and sister who also graduated class of 2017, right? This is almost 10 years old. I was the Page of Swords then. Right? The King of Wands is also a mentor that may be entering your life, someone close to you. I just got hot because of course I do whenever I start channeling. Someone close to you, someone entering your life, or someone you are in a mentor-mentee relationship with. They are putting you on notice. They're like, hey man, you actually can step your cookies up. You can afford to be the Queen of Swords. You actually need to be the Queen of Swords right now. And I also get that because the Nine of Wands reversed was the next card. I haven't even flipped over to the top three. Was the last card that I flipped over, and I ended up not putting the spread. And then again, we have the Magician down below. So you are doing some alchemy. All right, we're stretching, we're changing, we're taking the ingredients that we have, and the tools and the skills that we already possess, and using those to elevate ourselves. And then we have, yeah, oh my gosh, this is also a week where, let me flip that over. Yes. Okay, wait. I really love this for us collective. This is a week where we are precise about what it is that we want. We are precise about our vision for the future, and we are not allowing, all right, that jumped out. We are not, the magician jumped out. We are not allowing, did I flip I think I might have flipped the deck upside down. Hold on. And we are not allowing really anything or anyone, any old ways of being to get in our way. We also aren't allowing external judgment to, no, I definitely flipped it upside down because the Nine of Swords was reversed last time. We are, what am I saying, Spirit? Let's be clear. This week, the Page of Swords, King of Wands, and Queen of Swords is our first row. Our second row is Judgment reversed, and the Magician fell out over that. The Queen of Wands, and then the flavor of the week is Strength. So this is a very, very powerful week. Page of Cups, when I split the deck, we are stepping into our power this week. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's really just as plain and simple as that, right? We have so many powerful tarot figures jumping out. High Priestess, and then the Queen of Cups reversed on the bottom. Yeah, this is not a week where we are necessarily Six of Pentacles. We are not necessarily emotionally driven and then the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, we're not being driven by our emotions or our feelings this week. We are being driven by action, and we are being driven by our thoughts, right? I'm hearing something I read recently. Your body follows what your mind tells it. And there's a theory, I wish I remember what it was called. Maybe I will pull it up, hopefully, fingers crossed. But actually, I'll just tell the story and what inspired it. And I think that's a part of the message as well. There is a video I saw on Instagram. It's always a reel, right? I posted that in our last collective video as well. But basically, a woman was talking about how she got on a leg press per usual about 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. It was 2014 in Afghanistan on base. She had been deployed and was at the base gym. And she just got on the leg press after a man, and he asked if, should I take these plates off for you? And she said, no, don't worry about it, because she was used to a certain amount of weight being on there. She didn't double check it. She just got on and started pushing. She thought that they were the usual 45 plates that she had been using, and it was about 240, 270, maybe that she was pushing. And she noted that she thought, like, dang, these are kind of heavy today, but didn't think anything of it, did her 10 reps, went about it. Only to come to find out, each plate had been 100 pounds and not 45 pounds. So instead of 240 or 270 pounds, she had leg pressed 600 pounds, 10 times. That is 6,000 pounds. If you not quick on your feet, right? No mental math for us. Saying all that to say that she didn't even realize she was capable of lifting that much weight. And she honestly would have never thought she was capable of lifting that much weight until her mind got out of the way. Her mind didn't know what was on the plates. Her mind actually thought they were weighed much, much less. And yet, from that point, she was able to work up to even leg pressing 1,000 pounds, right? So I say all that to say, especially with the messages of this week collective, we are not judging ourselves. We're not prejudging ourselves or telling ourselves what we can or cannot do this week, especially with the Magician falling over Judgment. And with the Strength card is like the flavor or the plot line of this week. I'm getting that we are very sensually facing our shadow. And when I say sensually, I don't mean it just from a sexy, ooh yeah perspective, but sensually in using all of our senses. We are using our taste, touch, smell, hearing. I'm missing one. Taste, touch, smell, hearing, sight, and our vision, right? Our vision, yeah, exactly. We are using all of our senses to not only face our shadows, but to then alchemize those through magic, alchemize those through intentional thoughts, words, and deeds, and matching that with action. And I say that because, again, the first row, we got the Page of Swords, King of Wands, Queen of Swords, which I do see as our energy. It's like we start the week kind of in one position, and by the end of the week, we're actually on top of shit, on top of ish. And then the next row, we had Judgment reversed and the Queen of Wands. Yeah, we're not judging ourselves by old scripts. Instead, we are seeing what we are capable of by playing with our own magic, by playing with our shadow, by coming to terms and coming to peace with the things that we have previously allowed to hold us back and saying, that actually can't stop me anymore. What obstacles What hurdles, what things are you uncomfortable with? This is giving the week where we are purposely seeking rejection therapy, but you're actually not getting rejected, right? And what is rejection other than redirection? And I usually hate that phrase. I personally hate that phrase, or at least I had in the past, because who wants to hear that, right? When you want something badly, to not get it feels more than just redirect. Feels like more than just redirection. It feels like punishment. It can, or it can feel like, just it feels disappointing. But this is a week where rejection and rejection, because you're actually getting what you want, right? So even if you don't get something, that's because you did not have the true desire for that, and you are self-possessed in that, and you are seated in that. This is also a week where you are being met by a bunch of bosses, all right? Like this King of Wands energy, this Queen of Wands energy, this Queen of Swords energy, the Magician. You are being called into you are being called to very, very powerful tables. All right. Yeah. Two of Swords reversed as I cut the deck. You are being invited to some very powerful tables, but you also have your own damn table. There are three different thrones in this spread this week. So this week we are seated in our power, and it's not coming from a place of paranoia, and it's not coming from a place of struggle either. Because again, this Nine of Wands reverse lets me know that we're not stressed about this. We actually are very comfortably stepping up and stepping into this next level. Like the Page of Swords, especially as this first card, is the only card that's looking backwards besides the Strength card. But you see how they both are looking in the same direction, but with different facial feelings about it. Like this Page of Swords looks almost downtrodden looking back. Like I'm imagining them looking back at where they experienced that Ten of Swords, and they're like, wow, that's where I was cut. That's where they had me messed up. That's where I was really just cut up, torn to pieces, not living right, not feeling right, mind all amuck, right? Whereas the Strength, the person here on the Strength card, especially with the Lion, is looking back almost fondly like, wow, look how far I've come. The Page of Swords is looking back hesitantly. They're looking back like, whoa, I've been through this journey through the swords, but what's next? Whereas the Strength card is able to look back, especially with this Lion, which again, I always say as it's come out, the embodiment of our shadow and the embodiment of that ego, which is not inherently negative. It's just another aspect of self, right? I won't get into that now, but I have feelings about ego death and all the things that people say, death to your ego, etc., etc. But in this particular reading, what I am getting for the collective is that we are moving from a place where we hesitantly looked back and are still maybe worried or concerned about what happened or how things transpired in the past. And by the end of the week, or I guess the undercurrent of the week, I should say, again, this is a timeless reading whenever you're seeing it. The season that we are in is actually flipping that, where your perspective then becomes one, not of judgment of self or judgment of things that have gone wrong previously in the past or what you've been through or what you've had to endure. Instead, you are saying, that's where I've been. And see, actually, the King of Wands is also looking that way too. But again, the King of Wands is looking in the same direction as the Page from a stoic place, right? It's very clear to see that they are maybe not as wistful as the Strength card. They're not as nervous or even anxious as the Page of Swords, but instead even keeled. The King of Wands is the king of action. He about that action for sure, but he's more so, or they, I should say, are more so ready for whatever. And I point that out because look at this. You see how their fist is kind of balled up? I don't want to hold it too close, but you see how their fist is kind of balled up? It's not as if they go get up and like, flex on somebody, but it's giving deep in thought, deep in reflection. This King of Wands is looking back over the totality of all the journeys that they've been on, and they're saying, how do I call in? How do I possess? How do I hold on to the things that I need to keep and the things that I need to take with me and release and leave where it was the things that I've experienced before. And then the Queen of Wands, girl, look in the whole other direction. The Queen of Wands ain't even worried about that. Or, Queen of Swords. Same thing though with the Queen of Wands, right? Look at these two. Funny enough, as I said, I am with my best friend and sister, and she's an air sign. So I don't know if you see this, Destiny, but you made it in the reading. At any rate, you are being met and matched infinitely this week. Infinitely? My brain is malfunctioning, but I think in the best way. What time is it? All right, 6:30. Yes, this week we are facing where we are boldly because we know we got all the tools and skills we need to build the empire, to possess and lead the empire, to steward. That's the word I'm looking for. This week, we are openly and boldly sitting in our power and allowing ourselves to revel in our own magic as we sit with the fact and then move with the knowing that we have every tool we need to get exactly where we're going, to steward the empires, to steward the ideas, the spark, the creativity that wants to come up and out through us, right? And with the strength card as the flavor of the week, it's giving you are boldly doing so, right? Leos ain't never scared of somebody. Empress in the bottom. Oh, this is so beautiful. And I needed this message, collective. All right. I am definitely part of the collective I'd be reading for, even when it is for these public readings such as this. Child, this is the week where we really get up and at 'em. Oh, Temperance jumping out the deck. I know that's right. And Knight of Cups with Temperance as a jumper. And then we have the Eight of Wands reversed on the bottom. What's that giving? Oh, and into the Fool. Yeah, man. The only way to really stop the speed at which this is going is if you get in your own mind. If you start to, again, judge yourself based on things that have happened previously, the way things maybe used to work out, right? This is an antidote for my own life that wants to come up. So maybe it's resonant for you. And again, preaching and ministering to myself. But when I first started Temperance, it was July 2020. We got a $2,000 influx in sales, literally first drop, right? And that was super exciting. And I'm 21 years old. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting everyone's orders together. And then once I got all that done, I spent through the money. We're here, right? It's been 6 years at this point. I'm not necessarily ashamed of it. I used to be, but now I can say, yeah, you were moving from a place where I was starting a business, but I wasn't fully prepared to steward that business. Now, 6 years later, moving through a rebrand, I feel totally prepared. Not just for the life of an entrepreneur or to continue to build and scale Temperance, but to know that even when things happen, maybe not as quickly with this Eight of Wands as we think they're going to happen, I am in a new era. I'm an entirely new person. Things aren't going to happen in the same way because I've had different experiences, and I'm not judging myself based on how I used to behave, right? I actually have grace with that version of myself and with the pieces of myself that spent through that money and didn't manage the business properly and all that. I love her and I thank her because without her, I wouldn't be here, right? And without the person I was then, I wouldn't have the lessons I've learned financially, personally, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally through that. And now, especially with Temperance jumping out, and I put it right smack dab in the middle of our reading, it's giving that we are able to balance the lessons of our past with the new energy and new blessings and the creativity that are in our life and coming into our lives now. We also got the Knight of Cups. So someone, something is very much coming towards you sweetly this week. They are greeting you with a gift, and this could be a gift from the universe. This could be a gift from somebody you know you want to kiss on the mouth, and maybe they want to kiss you on the mouth, or this could just be a gift from someone giving you exactly what you need. But this week, as you step into who you are and being exactly who you know you are now versus who you've been, that's how you are able to greet and receive the blessings from the universe, because that in itself is a blessing, right? So collective, I'm going to stop here so I don't ramble, but this is a beautiful, beautiful spread. And if I had to pick an affirmation this week, I'm thinking I'm a whole ass vibe, okay? That is the affirmation for this week for the collective. I am a whole ass vibe, because you are. And not only are you a whole ass vibe, you are self-possessed, you is smart, you is kind, you is important, and you that because you said so, okay? So actually, Spirit, let me get one card, since we don't have our affirmation, but one card that we as a collective can channel and embody as we step into these powerful, powerful roles of leadership within our own lives, professionally, personally, relationally. We got the Knight of Cups again and the Ace of Pentacles. Both of those jumped out. So this week, let me scooch up on you. This week, allow new resources to enter your life graciously and see them for the gifts that they are, right? Let somebody treat you. Let somebody compliment you. Let somebody tell you, yeah, you look different. You're moving different. And see that as an opportunity to change your life completely, right? The Ace of Pentacles is just a seed. But by the time they get to that 10 of Pentacles, baby, they doing well. They're doing healthy. They're very handsomely kept, as they should be, especially when you get to working into the core cards. The King and Queen of Pentacles, been that. So this week, allow yourself to receive the grace and the gift of newness and showing up in this new identity that you already know you are. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you are interested in any of the personal readings I do a 30-minute and 60-minute reading for life and general overview, love and finance. What? Maybe you need a love and finance reading. But a general life overview, love and relationships, career and development readings for 30 minutes and 60 minutes, and then 45 and 90-minute custom creativity readings. So I hope you have a great day, and I will catch you with another one very, very soon. Bye.